To my other video for The Masked Singer, Season 7, Episode 7. This one talks about the characters and the clues that I personally noticed. And I will also be mentioning again the character that, of course, was eliminated and who that character turned out to be. There's a lot of sync here with my... I'm trying to not make my face look too dark, so I've got a flashlight over here, but it's like totally shining in the wrong area. Anyway, I guess I'll just turn it off and my eyes will look dark again. But anyway, or maybe put it over here. So anyway, as I said, this is The Masked Singer, Season 7, Episode 7, one about clues and new characters. So welcome all. Episode 7 introduced us to the final group of the season, with one character being revealed at the end of the episode. I posted a separate video about that reveal. Should have been posted earlier, though my live vlogs aren't really going live, it doesn't seem. They seem to be restricted to where just a few people can see them, like maybe the people that are subscribed to my channel. I don't know. That being said, though, thank you all for viewing, sharing, and subscribing to my channel and my various vlogs and other videos. I really do appreciate you guys. So, on this particular vlog, I'm discussing the new characters, as I said, and all the clues that I noticed for them. The new group includes Team Bad's Queen Cobra and Jack in the Box. Team Good's The Prince, Toad. I had to go back through my notes and check because I was like, wait a second, was another one of them on Team Good? But no, he's the only one left for Team Good to compete, but they still have 2 people that are in the final. And so there was also Team Cuddly's Baby Mammoth, who I still love, and Space Bunny. Now, performance-wise, I think the 2 strongest ones in this group by far are the Prince Toad and Queen Cobra. And I'll talk more about that here in a bit. So, the Prince Toad performed first. The TV for him seemed to be from the late 70s or early to mid 80s. And I don't know if that even means anything or not. They say anything could be a clue. A lot of stuff is not, seems like. But anyway, or not something that I would know about. Excuse me. And so he was talking about his workout video, which I forgot that made me think of Billy Blanks, better known as the typo guy. And of course it made me think of Richard Simmons, who this guy is entirely too tall to be. Because I grew up in the 70s and 80s, and it was Richard Simmons if you wanted to work out back then, for as far as guys doing them, for the most part anyway. Chuck Norris also had some workout videos. I was like, I'm surprised Ken isn't going to say him. So we saw a ball that said Mars on it and was colored like the planet Mars. And whenever I was looking into one of the other characters, I discovered that Blake Anderson from the show Workaholics, for those of you who don't know, he's the one that's got the long curly red hair, or dark brown, or whichever, I think it's red. But he has a boy, well, a child anyway, whose name is Mars. So I was like, so maybe the Prince Toad is Blake Anderson, and I just don't know that he can sing that good. They sing some on Workaholics, being goofy and such, you know, so he can at least carry a tune. But so to me, the workout that the people were doing in the commercial seemed like it was either aerobics or perhaps Pilates, because they had the table stand thing is like step aerobics possibly, that they were doing. And there was a squeaky teddy bear that they were throwing back and forth. It was like squeak, 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 like a little dog toy or toy for a baby. And they showed what I called a bling ring, and I believe that's what he called it. And Jenny said I had a diamond on it, which, you know, she's like, could refer to a baseball diamond. And as I mentioned in my other video, if you've seen it, the shorter video, I liked her guess for him because that was totally who I was thinking. But now there are several people that I'm thinking he could be. So anyway, He said reach and bend, which Nicole mentioned could mean R&B. Reach and bend, R&B, rhythm and blues. And he called his workout a total body workout, which that makes me think of Chuck Norris because the type of workouts he did were total body workouts. And the Tae Bo is a total body workout as well. Um, oh, yes, he said he's been working his froggy legs off his whole life. The lily pad, he called one of his exercises the lily pad leap. He said, don't be shy, work those thighs. He's a lean green workout machine. And part of this made me think of RuPaul, to be honest. I think of him often when I'm watching this show, and I'm like, he'll probably never be on here for various reasons. But anyway, so they said there are 8, or he said, I did not really catch this the first time I watched the show through, which is why I watch it again before I make my videos. Most all of the time I watch it again. But he said 18 easy payments of 20.06. And all the panelists were making a big, huge deal out of the 20.06 and it being 2006. And I'm like, I mean, it could be something relating to sports that's literally 20.06. And I didn't realize till I watched it through this time that he said 18. And I'm like, he could be Peyton Manning or someone that was a number 18, right? So yeah, naturally, that made me think of Peyton Manning, right? And I was going to mention, I thought I had written it down, what his initial clue was. Oh yes, his initial clue was the letter jacket that had the white sleeves and was sort of a Carolina light blue type color and had the yellow number 30 on the front of it, which I can't find the number 30 associated with Peyton Manning or any of the other people that I think it might be. I don't think any of them anyway. So that being said, he also said, rib it while you get it. And I was like, so he's probably someone that says get it a lot, which that actually makes me think kind of Snoop Dogg. But I don't feel like he's tall enough to be Snoop Dogg. I feel like Prince Frog is probably, given his crotch ratio to Nick's crotch ratio, he's probably somewhere between 6'2" and 6'4". 6'4" I think would be a stretch. I think he's probably like 6'2", 6'3", somewhere in there. So the song that he sang, I'm probably going to screw up the name of, but it was La Copa de la Vida by Ricky Martin. So he's singing, right? And he did very good. And I'm thinking to myself, his voice sounds really familiar. And he kind of, to me, his voice made me think of, I'm not gonna lie, Wilmer Valderrama that plays Fez on that 70s show. So like, I checked to see how tall he is. He's like 5'7", maybe 5'9". And I was like, no, I don't feel like that's him unless maybe he's wearing platform shoes inside of the outfit or something. But to me, that was who his voice made me think of. Definitely did sound familiar, and for that reason only, I like the Wilmer Valderrama guess. But I'm still trying to figure out if I've ever heard A-Rod sing or not. Alex Rodriguez, he dated Jennifer Lopez, he dated Madonna. He dated Jessica Simpson. I'm not going to remember all of the celebrities he sang, but he dated, but he has dated a lot of female singers. So I'm going like, he can probably at least carry a tune in a bucket, I would think. But I thought he did pretty good. I thought he was one of the best ones from this group. And he said that he has performed in front of many people many times before. That wasn't his exact words, but that's what he said. And he used the term bonkers. He said this is the most bonkers show that he's ever done or something along that line. He also said he's happy to be back on a team and he hopes he knocks it out of the park, which is a baseball term, but does not necessarily mean he plays baseball because they try to throw us. And that still took me to Peyton Manning right there because he has retired, so he's no longer on a team, unless you count the College Bowl thing with his brother, but which is a very good show. But, so that being said, as I stated a while ago, to me, he seems to be about 3 to 4 inches taller than Nick, which I did by trying to line up sort of the crotch of the outfit with Nick's kind of crotch area and the hips. As bad as that sounds, that's a tip that I picked up from Jenny and Nicole at one point. So that was how I got that. Um, I think that he is A-Rod. And some of the things that I found out about A-Rod is that he is part owner of the Minnesota Timberwolves, which is an NBA basketball team. The numbers that he has had in his baseball career are number 3 and number 13. I'm like, I don't see how that has to do with the number 30, but it could be a lot of things, right? And like, as I said, I do have a lot of other people that I'm considering for him right now as well. So A-Rod was born in 1975 and he's 6'3", so he falls within the height that I'm thinking, right? And then, of course, I already mentioned that Jenny said that the ring could represent a baseball diamond, and Jamie Lee Curtis came on there and she says she's his final girl and his queen. And I'm like, like, is this referencing somebody that she was in a relationship with in a movie or something? Or maybe someone that she's in a relationship with in real life? Like, I don't know. But so I looked into that a little bit, and her husband made a mockumentary about sports mascots. So I was like, well, I mean, it could possibly be him. He could throw out all sorts of sports clues, and they would be related to him, right? Because he did the sports mascots mockumentary. And for those of you that don't know it, but it's pretty obvious, a mockumentary is something that makes fun of stuff, not something that documents like the true thing about stuff. That you can tell the truth about mascots and still be making fun of them, as far as I'm concerned. But yes, her husband's name is Christopher Guest, and he is one of the people that I'm considering for the Prince Toad. Now, some others that I'm considering, this has to do with the bling and the sports thing, right? And kind of the R&B thing, but I went more hip hop with it than R&B. Okay. So what I did was I went and I looked up different hip hop artists that have played sports. I was trying to find out whether T.I. had ever played a sport, because I'm like, it seems like he always wears a diamond ring, and I forgot that I was going to look into LL Cool J. He's more considered R&B. I did not look into him yet. I don't think. Wait, yes, I did too. I did. LL Cool J did not finish high school and did not go to college. And I believe that for those reasons, it said that he has not played any sports, which does not mean that he's not been in a movie or show or something where he played baseball or basketball or everything like that, which leads me to someone else later on. As I said, I'm considering several people for the Prince Toad right now. So some of the rappers that I saw that played at least one sport and were wearing a pretty blingy ringy. Actually, I was surprised the majority of them were not wearing rings, or the rings were like black colored. There were like 2 that were wearing black rings. So the ones that were wearing blingy ringies, not surprising, 2 Chainz. He's the one that sings Chain Hang Low. Wait, no, he's not. Well, anyway. And another one is Rick Ross, and there's one named Quavo, I guess that's how you pronounce it, Quavo. I had not heard of him. Quavo played football and basketball, I believe it was, and even soccer. I'm pretty sure he's the one that played all 3 of those. 2 Chainz and Rick Ross both played basketball. Seems like maybe one of them played baseball as well. So, and then of course I wrote over here to remind myself that Blake Anderson from Workaholics has a son named Mars, which I brought up a while ago. And I did mention Billy Blanks from the Tybo videos. He definitely has workout videos, you know. And he is 6 foot tall, and so he's definitely one of the people that I'm considering to be him. The other one is 6'1", And kids that grew up in the 90s will totally remember who I'm talking about, because he was on Scooby-Doo. I believe he had his own show. There was a show that had him and Magic Johnson and a couple of other people on it, but a little guy by the name of Bo Jackson, very very famously known for playing both baseball and football professionally, but he also played professional basketball. I believe it was professional. He may have played minor league and college basketball, but at one point I was thinking he also played like hockey and soccer, but he played a whole bunch of sports, and I was thinking that I had written more down here about him, like his jersey numbers or something, but I don't guess that I did. But I do remember that one of them was 33 and one was 34, and it seems like another was 16. So there are some 30s in there. Oh yes, and this guy, there's a guy who makes documentaries that are called 30 of 30. And he does like 30 clips of people doing really good shows, and I think like each of the 30 clips is 30 seconds long. I think it's why it's called 30 of 30. And he featured Bo Jackson at least 3 times in his 30 of 30 videos, so it could be him, but I wasn't able to find anything about him having any workout videos. There was somebody. Who was it? Well, actually, Blake Anderson. I found videos of him and the guy that plays for Adam on Workaholics, like videos of them working out, which I don't know if was involved, or like if it was on the show, or if it was, I didn't watch them, so I don't know exactly the context of them. I'll try not to be too chatty so I don't make this last too long, which I tend to do. So next was Team Cuddly's baby Mammoth, who she performed next. I'm sorry, almost said who performed Ice Age. Her first clue was like a bunch of icebergs and such, and she was talking about the Ice Age, of course, because she's a mammoth. But of course, that made me think of the movies about the Ice Age, like Ice Age, The Meltdown, and all of those. She was introducing a hair product, which made me think of the movie Hair and the movie Hairspray. So, it had the words dull, dry, and dreadful in the comic quote clouds. And that reminded me, like, she's, I think, the only one that I actually wrote this down on, but her clues for the very first episode, like the season premiere, were the Superman and Lois Lane clues. So at that point, I was thinking, she's probably somebody that played for Lois Lane at one point, and I found out that Anne Hathaway was slated to play Lois Lane in one movie, but that movie never actually got filmed, from what I understand. And Sandra Bullock was supposed to be in the same movie as a person that Superman was helping. So, and how did I get to Sandra Bullock? I turned my page too soon, but she said, it takes 2 products. When she said it takes 2 products, my brain went, it takes 2. It takes 2 to make a thing go right. It takes 2 to make it out of, I can't remember how the song goes, but anyway, her and Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds sing it on The Proposal. You ever seen the movie? And I'm sure you have. They sing that song on there, and I was like, it takes 2. How did I not notice that the first time I watched this, right? So I was like, Sandra Bullock all the way. So she said it strengthens her confidence and her hair, and like that totally made me think of Sandra Bullock. She always seems so confident, like you wouldn't think she needs her confidence built, but everyone does, right? And she said something about cutting edge shampoo and conditioner, and one of the other people mentioned their product being cutting edge, which that's a term that is often used. But cutting edge, she could be like a baker or something, because it was Duff Goldman, it was Duff from Aces of Cakes that used the term cutting edge. Ooh, that's who he was. So yes, it could totally be a baker or someone. But the way my brain went to that is, guess who owns a bakery in Austin, Texas? Sandra Bullock. She does. Anywho, they also showed a beauty salon with a huge coffee mug and one person holding a huge coffee mug and two of the other people holding magazines. And, they were sitting in the beauty chairs with the hair dryers and all that sort of stuff. So I started to make a note there that in the proposal, Sandra Bullock also got a mascot, a manicure, and she jumped up and ran off to chase after Ryan Reynolds. And I was like, oh, wait, that's the wrong movie, wrong person. It's Diane, my brain is saying Keaton, that's not her, Diane Lane in Must Love Dogs was what I was thinking of. But in the proposal, Sandra Bullock does go with Ryan Reynolds' mom and his grandma, who's played by Betty White, to get a manicure and pedicure. So it could still apply to her, right? Or anyone that is in a movie or anything that has a beauty shop. Yes, that's what I'm thinking. Which makes me think of the barbershop movies now that I think about it, and that made me think of someone totally, completely different. Oh my gosh. So anyway, I'm going to write that down over here to the side before I forget. For those of you who want to know what I'm thinking right now, I am thinking, did I spell her name completely wrong? But anyway, a person that is in the barbershop movies who is an awesome singer, and I don't feel like Baby Mammoth did that great on her first performance, but a person that is on those and is a great singer is Queen Latifah. I'll have to watch and see how she does later on, right? So she said something about being furry and fabulous. They showed the medal with the 2 on it, which could be a silver medal from the Olympics. She said she's strong, unbreakable, and iconic. Or she's talking about the hair, I guess. Strong, unbreakable, and iconic. Or maybe she said it makes her that way. Which that, again, totally made me think of Sandra Bullock. She has played so many roles where she portrayed such strong, unbreakable women. And then she portrayed a woman who broke. Yeah. So they showed, this is the clue that I really, really want to know what means. So they better tell when they reveal her a matchbook. I told myself not to say matchbox anyway. A matchbook with 1 match on the outside, and it had the Masked Singer logo on it. So then they showed a cheerleader, right? I just wrote cheer. I don't know why, but they showed a cheerleader. Sandra Bullock was a cheerleader. Not 100% sure about Queen Latifah or Amy Adams. Amy Adams has most likely been in something where she played for a cheerleader. And she said, repair a millennial of damage in just 1 use. And whenever she was talking and stuff after she performed, to me, she seemed like she probably maybe is really, really, really young, like a JoJo Siwa type person. So I was like, I mean, she might turn out to be someone that I don't know. And she did say cure a millennial of damage, or, repair a millennial of damage. I think she actually said prepare, but anyway, that's beside the point. So I'm thinking that she's probably a millennial, right? Just someone who is much younger than me. And I did notice whenever she was saying that they showed a can of hairspray in the background, which of course she was talking about hair products that entire time. But that made me think of Rebel Wilson, who was in the newer version of the movie Hairspray. And I'm like, well, could this maybe be Rebel Wilson? She can sing really super good too, though. But, they're in this outfit that they're not used to performing in is one thing that we always have to think about when it comes to how good or bad it sounds like they're singing when they're performing. She said that it repairs her hair from nose to toes. And on the product itself, it said multi-tusk products, which probably has nothing to do with anything. She sang Walkin' After Midnight by Patsy Cline, which kind of makes me think that she might be an older person. I was about to say, but I would maybe sing that if I went on a show where I performed songs, but I'm kind of an older person. I tend to forget that sometimes. So anyway, as I said, I was thinking Sandra Bullock, And call me crazy, but when Baby Mammoth was singing to me, she sounded like she could have been RuPaul. Just like, I was like, I think this is RuPaul. And then I was listening to the stuff after the performance again, and I'm like, no. She kind of really seems like a child. Um, she said, though she's gotten lots of silver, she wants to go for the gold. Now, it could be somebody who's a very, very good actress who is, or actor for that matter, who is talking in a higher pitched voice and acting silly, you know. But so I did a little bit of research into some US Olympians in case it is along that line. And what I found is that she could be US swimming Olympian Shirley Babashoff, I believe is how you say her last name. She won 6 silver medals and 2 golds between 1972 and 1976. She is still living. I don't recall how old she is. I think she's in her mid 60s. And it could also be Amanda Beard, who is a swimmer and has 4 silver medals and 2 golds, which she got between 1996 and 2004. So it'd be more likely, I think, that it would be her, unless the reason she sounds like a little kid to me is because she's kind of Betty White-ish and goofy and talk, you know. Anyway, so for the record, I was looking at her height and whatnot on the other, and I know that's got the big head up there, but on the season premiere thing, she said something about moving the trunk so that she could see. Can you move the trunk to the side so I can see? And so they may have adjusted where her head is since then. But to me, she looks like she's probably about 5'7", 5'8" inches tall, right? Because of where her, where the mouth thingy is behind the nose. And Sandra Bullock is 5'8" tall. She is not an EGOT holder, so I think that that's something that she would like to accomplish. And to her, that could be like second place and therefore represent silver. Also, I was thinking about the 2 that is on the medal. She has been in a lot of movies that had sequels, you know, so like 2 of them at least. Like I think The Heat with her and Melissa McCarthy. I was gonna say she's Jenny's cousin, but anyway, I believe there are 2 of those. There's 2 or 3 Miss Congenialities. Anyway, she's super, super awesome. I think it would be super, super great if Sandra Bullock was on there. She has her little son. As far as I know, she still only has one. But, you know, he would love to see her on there, I'm sure. He's probably a fan. So, next up was Queen Cobra, and I super loved the outfit for Queen Cobra, and I had a great epiphanic idea. Is that a word, epiphanic? Me and Nick are both going to be making up words. Anyway, as to who she or they may be. So, she seems model-esque, the one that went out onto the stage. Not that that means anything, of course. They showed trash with crime scene tape, and I forgot all about that, but they showed trash that had crime scene tape around it. There was a money bag, and they're talking about, there were 2 of them in the clue thing. So they're talking about a baddie they're like, if you're a baddie that's always on the run, or a goodie that's ruining the fun. I almost said running the fun. That's ruining the fun. And as I said, there were 2 cobras in the clues. They showed a rocket. And then they showed some villains. One of them had a baseball bat and a pirate. And the TVs in hers, to me, looked like they were from like the 70s-ish. Theirs, I should say. They said, need fuel for epic nights, fist for action-packed fights. And they showed comic style with the pointy things around them, boom and bam. And so I'm like, that's comic-y type stuff, which might take me away from who I'm thinking right now, actually. And they showed a coffee maker with the Batman mug. And oh, I had forgotten. I knew one of them had Superman clues and the other one had Batman clues, and I've already forgotten what Queen Cobra's initial clue was. But anyway, there was the coffee maker with the Batman mug. They called the coffee Reptile Roast. And she said it's a perfect blend for any adventure. Then they showed a picture of Bradley Cooper. And she said, turning goodies bad since 1990. And I was like, okay, so probably maybe their career was in its height in 1990. She or they sang Good as Hell by Lizzo, who I always forget she sings that. And the main voice that I heard made me think of Missy Elliott or maybe Mary J. Blige. But then I don't even remember why. It was partly the 1990s thing, I know, but I don't remember why exactly. I ended up looking into them, but I have decided that very possibly Queen Cobra is, let me think, very possibly I think Queen Cobra could be Salt and Peppa, which, as I said, I don't recall now, other than the 90s thing, why I ended up looking into them. So her initial clue, oh, she's the one that had the Superman clue, not Baby Mammoth. Right. So she's the one I was thinking was Amy, could be Amy Adams to start with. So her first clue is a picture of Superman without the S on the outfit, and the blue part is orange, while the red parts are blue, which I said may be something to do with the copyright. Like maybe they couldn't put it the way that the Superman one is because of the copyright. And she says, thank you, can work out who I am. So I was like, maybe she's someone that is a fitness guru or something along that line. And she said, just remember, stay in your lane, which was what led me to the Lois Lane stuff, and possibly Terry Hatcher, Amy Adams, or Kate Bosworth. And, realistically, since there's two of them, it could be Marcia Cross and Terry Hatcher from Desperate Housewives. Good and bad, sort of, kind of, They pretended to be good all the time, but they weren't necessarily always behaving good. Could be Amy Adams and somebody else. She has been in a whole lot of movies. I can't believe that I forgot that she's the one that actually had that clue, though. Now I lost where my place is. Oh, no, I didn't. But yes, so she is the one that Ken said is Anne Hathaway. And I would love to see Anne Hathaway on there, but I have heard her sing, as Ken was talking about, that, we've all heard her sing. She was in Les Mis, as a lot of people call it, and won awards for her singing on it. And I don't feel like the voice is really seriously familiar to me, but I don't feel like it's Anne Hathaway's voice. She sang in Ella Enchanted and several other movies that I won't be able to think of the name of all of them, and I wish I could remember. Well, anyway, so yeah, there's different superhero stuff. There's Batman stuff. There's Superman stuff, both for her, and I'm trying to think. There was somebody that I had looked into, and it might have been Amy Adams, that had been on both Batman stuff and Superman stuff. And then there's the show Supergirl, which I thought it might have been, but her outfit is exactly the same as Superman's. But like I said, that could be a copyright thing. So that's all I have for her right now. This video is running super long, as they almost always do. I'm sorry about that, guys, because there are so many of you watching. Then came Jack in the Box. His outfit was extreme in the realness of the box operation and such, or at least how it seemed to operate. Like they actually turned the crank and then it opened, but it might have done something to signal him to open it. And he sang, he was of Team Bad, as was Queen Cobra, and he sang Bad to the Bone. um, before they showed his clues, he sang it, and he sounded very much like who he was, which is always good when people sound like who they are. In case you missed it, I did tell in a different video about him getting revealed, and I'm going to tell who he was right here in just a second and such. If you haven't seen it and don't want to know, skip over it, but most likely everybody already knows. Though I still swear that the leak that I saw said that it was Space Bunny that the person was, not him. But anyway, he's not much of a singer, but he seemed to have fun, and he was on the show for his granddaughter and because he's a big fan of the show. And I think it's super great that he was on there for his granddaughter, so she knows not to be afraid to try different things, basically, is what he said. His clues, now I was thinking that one of them was something to do with New York City itself or the state of New York, but apparently it wasn't. His clues were one of those 70s-ish looking TVs, like most of them seem to have. That's why I decided maybe that doesn't mean anything. It's part of why. So anyway, there was a couple in a convertible, and he said, he's talking about his wedding chapel. Lovebirds drive through wedding chapel. You can have your wedding on wheels. And there was a thing about Four Seasons, which was also connected to the weddings. He said he's impulsive, he loves love, and loves officiating weddings. He's done over 200 weddings. As I said, my Uncle Timmy has done over 400, I believe. They showed a gavel and a little red wagon. There was an Irish football. And he said, have 2 weddings for the price of 1, and the people were wearing candy rings as their wedding rings. There was a spaceship, and like this was behind the wagon being pulled, a spaceship and what appeared to be empty paint cans, shiny silver paint cans. And he said, the party never stops with me. He has a great sense of humor, I did note. I'm not sure that I knew that about him, and he said that he gets put in a box a lot. So, as I said, maybe there weren't any NYC clues for him, but mostly because of the leak, I knew that he was Rudolph or Rudy Giuliani, though I actually liked Ken's guess too, and he guessed Elon Musk. The football with the 4-leaf clover on it, or was it just a clover? Anyway, that was referring to the movie Rudy, which he goes by Rudy, not Rudolph, and I forgot what I was about to do. I was going to look up, we did not have an early clue for Jack in the Box because he was the one from Team Bad that they did not introduce us to at that time. So, and that being said, the last one to perform was Space Bunny. The way he walked out onto stage made me think that he seemed older. He seemed to be taking smaller steps, but that could just be the boots and his suit. It's hard to know. So there was a rocket that blasted off on the TV. He walked into an office, and my mind totally went to the dude with the long curly hair on Workaholics. I was thinking it was The Office or Office Space, but he's on Workaholics. And that's, I was looking into that, and his name is Blake Anderson, and that's where I found he has the kid that's name is Mars, and I was like, oh, well, maybe he's the one that had the Mars clue then. Or maybe that's Adam. Ooh, I hadn't thought of that. Anyway, so yeah, I'm not sure why I'm walking into the office. It has like a refrigerator in the office and Xerox machine and all sorts of stuff like that. And I'm like, he's just walking in there, and I'm going, made me think of the guy with the long curly hair on Workaholics. I don't know. But this person, from his first clue, he said that he has done a lot in his career. Let me see. I'm talking about Space Bunny now, who is right by Baby Mammoth. Okay, so he says he's achieved a lot over the course of his career. he's the one that his first clue was the state of North Carolina. So I was like, he must be from there or something. And so, anyway, yeah, that was his first clue, was the state of North Carolina, which I think I'm going to mention again here in a little bit. Thank you all for viewing once again. So he said something about trailblazing. Like his product was an energy drink, okay? And he said, it's trailblazing. Are you sleepy and groggy? You know, working in the office all the time got you tired. You're sleepy and groggy. And then he mentioned having a long career. Again, there was a bee buzzing around in his face, which is part of what made me think of one of the people I thought of. There's a red hand on a white sheet of paper in the office. And I was like, oh, that's something I should know. Is it from like Red October? Or, oh my gosh, I know that red hand. Don't know what it's from. I'll see if I can figure that out and let you guys know. But yeah, I'm like, I know that from somewhere. Anyway, I should have tried maybe to look it up before I made this, now that I think about it. So yes, the energy drink is called Space Boost. Space Boost energy drink. He said, cover all your bases. And I was like, he may play baseball then, right? He said something about extreme, or the energy drink is extreme, long-lasting, it gives you extreme long-lasting energy with no side effects. And then down below it was showing what some of the side effects actually are, and it said something about exponential growth, and they showed a flaming basketball. And I'm like, exponential growth makes me think of somebody, like maybe somebody from Workaholics that is an accountant or something like that, you know. But then the flaming basketball, that could be the Blazers. And he mentioned trailblazing, you know, so I'm almost certain there is a basketball team, an NBA team that is called the Blazers or Trailblazers. I'm not sure where they're from. But he said it's fast fuel to save the day. And they showed a shaggy dog up in a burst of light, which of course made my mind go to Shaggy. And he said it's out of this world. And he sang Jump in the Line, which they showed part of that on the season premiere. I was like, I should have been listening to this ever since the season premiere. But yeah, so they showed the song Jump in the Line, which for those of you who don't know, is the theme song to the movie Beetlejuice, right? And it's sang by Harry Belafonte. So he seemed like he had a Caribbean-esque accent, which made me think of Shaggy, and they did show that Shaggy dog, as Nicole pointed out. But I feel like this could be Michael Keaton, though. He played for Beetlejuice. A lot of times they don't do stuff that obvious as like he sings the theme song to Beetlejuice, but then if he sang it, we'd be like, oh, well, that's most likely not Michael Keaton because he played for Beetlejuice, right? But there was the bee that was buzzing around in his face, and I don't recall him ever having eaten a bee on Beetlejuice, but he did eat bugs, primarily beetles and worms. So, and I'm like, excuse me. No, it wasn't like that. But apparently I was, right? But yeah. So I was like, Michael Keaton is older. He's 70 years old, y'all. He's 5'9" tall. Space Bunny to me seems to be a little shorter than Nick Cannon, right? It's just kind of hard to tell with the big head that Space Bunny has, not Nick Cannon. But he did also say that he shoots for the moon in everything he does, which made me think of SpaceX and Elon Musk. Because they had the incident with the rocket that they literally hit the moon with, from what I hear. Oh my word. Anyway, it was raining here earlier, and it's supposed to rain some more, and I think it's like severely humid, and me talking is like making my sinuses do weird stuff. But so anyway, he was checking out Nick's suit, and he said, "Well, I like a wardrobe, you know." So Nick asked him if they know each other, or well, he's like, "Do I know you?" I guess was actually what he said. "Do I know you?" And he replied, "Quote, no, but I know you." End quote. And he had a great sense of humor. Um, and the office setting with the space stuff makes me think of Office Space. And his very first clue, as I said, was the state of North Carolina. Now, it wasn't a big part, and he hasn't had very many big parts. Pardon me, but there is also a guy by the name of Todd Duffy who was in, whoa, who was in Office Space. He's 48 years old, which is not that old, but like I said, it could be the suit that makes it appear that he's old. But he is from Raleigh, North Carolina, and he's on Office Space. So, he grew up in Texas, so I'm going to be keeping an eye out for some clues concerning Texas. And in connection to him growing up in Texas, I do not recall this guy in the movie Office Space. I don't know what sort of accent he may have, but there's another person from Texas that has a strong accent that I'm considering, because the person definitely had an accent. Like I said, it seemed to be Caribbean-esque, but that may have just been the song that he was singing, y'all, right? Um, so, that being said, Todd Duffy has been in 40 different things, so he does have a lot of credits for various things, not as many as some people like Michael Keaton would have. But those are the ones that he's been credited for, right? He's probably doing plays and stuff like that because he was in, like he did acting when he was in high school. Um, like he took drama and stuff like that. So here are the other people I'm considering for him. I have two characters that I'm considering a whole bunch of people for, okay? So I'm going to start with the last one first. My brain is saying Office Space. That's not the right one. The Office, right? Steve Carrell is in The Office. He's 5'9" and 59 years old, and we know has a sense of humor and can do various voices. So he has had an awesome career. So he's one of the people that I'm considering, but not the one I really think it is, okay? Another one, and all of these other ones I came up with from the Space Connection, so I don't know that they would actually have any of them be Space Bunny, but they've all done so much stuff that I'm not sure that everyone knows that they've done space movies, if you know what I mean. Some of them have done more than one, including this first person that I'm going to say, which is Matt Damon, who is 5'10" and 51 years old, and he was in Elysium, and I'm not going to think, there was at least one other space movie I'm almost certain that he did. And this person I feel like is probably too short, but might not be, and he has had, well, Matt Damon has also, this person has had a huge career, and I'm talking about Tom Cruise. He's 5'7", 59 years old. I cannot think of the movie he was in. Oh, I just happened to think Sean Bean was also in a space movie. I believe he was in one of the ones that Matt Damon was in. Might be Elysium, ran the space station-y thing. Anyway, darn it. Well, I think he's too tall, though, because I think Sean Bean is like 6 foot tall. Alexa, how tall is Sean Bean?
Sean McVay is 5 feet 10 inches tall.
How tall is Sean Bean?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, the English actor Sean Bean is 5 feet 10 inches.
Stop listening. So yeah, he's 5'10" tall. So, could be him. I better write him down. Sean Bean, who is 5'10" tall. That's Sean Bean, realistically. I just say it that way so I'll make sure that I spell it right. So another one, whom I don't really think it is because he's super tall compared to these other people, but he has made one with his son, and possibly, I'm thinking maybe another one. And I'm like, the singing voice sounds familiar to me, which is part of what took me to Michael Keaton, right? So I'm like, well, it could be Will Smith because he sometimes does the more hip-hop-ish type sort of stuff, which that song was more like. But as I said, I don't really feel like it is him. He's 6'2" tall and 53 years old. None of these other people are near as old as Michael Keaton. It would be so cool to see Michael Keaton on here. He has done so much with his career, as have all of these other people. And so the last person that I'm thinking it might be, and this is the one that I'm really leaning toward for him right now, because he has had such an astronomical career, and he has an accent, y'all. I'm going to throw another y'all in there, or two or three or four. And so this person, which I didn't write his entire name down because I don't have to, because I know who I mean, is Matthew McConaughey, right? Has an accent. He's 6 foot tall, which is a little taller than I'm feeling like Space Bunny is. But it's possible that Space Bunny is 6 foot tall. He's 52 years old. And a thing that I learned about Matthew McConaughey that I did not know before tonight, y'all, is that apparently he is a big fan of the North Carolina Tar Heels. So he said he's been keeping a much closer eye on them than he once did. And I was thinking that he was part owner of a basketball team. But I did not, I don't think I actually looked into that to see whether he is or not. But I think that he is part owner of a basketball team. If I could look stuff up on my, I said laptop. Well, if I could look stuff up on my laptop, I would do that, but my laptop is still kaput. So, yeah. But anyway, and if I could look stuff up on my phone while I'm filming, but I can't, because if I go to look something up, it is like, oh, you can't, like, I closed your video now, so you're just not filming. But anyway, so yes, those are my thoughts on the characters, and of course all of them are remaining from the script except for Jack in the Box right now. So we have, almost a lemur, where did that come from? We have Space Bunny and Queen Cobra. We have, to write our notes more legibly so we can tell who we're talking about. Oh yes, Baby Mammoth. How can I forget Baby Mammoth? Yeah, Baby Mammoth. So we have Queen Cobra, Space Bunny, Baby Mammoth, and the Prince Toad, which I still think is awkward. But anyway, and I'm so excited to watch the next episode, even though I know... Wait, is the next episode where two of them get revealed? There's 4 left now. So no. Only one will get revealed on the next episode. Which right now I'm thinking will either be Space Bunny or Baby Mammoth, but you never can tell because they may step it up big time on the next episode. And Izzy is nosing around what she's doing. Anyway, I'm going to go for now. So everyone have a great, whatever time of night or day it is in your part of the world. Stay safe and stay positive, and make sure that you tune into my other vlogs and check out all of my other videos, especially the local bobtailed squirrel. I need to post some more videos of it. I almost said him. I don't know if it's male or female, but anyway. Thank you all for viewing.